When you wake up in the morning and it's raining in your heart and you feel like you can't make it before you even start. Your world is wrapped in darkness and you cannot see the light. And all your situations don't seem to work out right. Open up your vision. Open up the law, and remember just who you are. You're an Israelite, and you'll always be here. Remember the covenant that's passed down from year to year. Oh, 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 See, Moses was a servant with a very special deed. He was sent to old Pharaoh to say, let God's people be. Israel were captive of an unrighteous man, and though Pharaoh would not hearken to the words of the Most High plan, open up your vision, open up the law, and remember who you are. You're Israelite, and you'll always be here. Remember the covenant that passed down from year to year. Whoa, oh, my Lord. Yes, He is our Savior, our hope and guiding light, and He grants us understanding. Yes, He teaches us the light. He will come to our rescue when we give His praises due. So come, let us extol Him. Come on, just me and you. Open up your vision. Open up the law, and remember just who you are. You're in the light, and you'll always be ever to come now. That's down from every year. Whoa, whoa, oh, my
All right. Shalom, shalom, everyone. Welcome. I have a very, very special and very, very powerful tribute that I'm bringing to the Israelite community this evening in honor, in celebration of an amazing and prolific teacher in the Israelite community for several decades now. I think that this is one of those conversations that has been long overdue in terms of giving our elders their flowers. And too often, many of us wait too late, myself included, to give our elders their flowers. And so I'm joined here this evening by the daughters of one of my teachers, Chief Moreh Yehotzedek Ben Gad, a prolific and powerful teacher in the Israelite community. And I'm going to begin this conversation by first and foremost giving all honor and praise to the Holy One of Israel, the God of our ancient forefathers, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And I'm secondly going to say shalom to the daughters of Chief Moreh Yehotzedek. Shalom, ladies. How you doing?
Shalom.
Good.
Shalom.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. So we're going to go in order. I'd like to first introduce Shoshana, who is the eldest daughter of Chief Moreh Yehotzedek. And Shoshana, I'd like for you to just open up and tell us a little bit about yourself, and then tell us a little bit about your dad.
About myself. As you stated, I am the oldest, aka the number one firstborn. About me, I am pretty much, uh, yeah, I would say I'm the quiet one, but get me going. You got to get me out my shell, but very much so like my father, um, private, passionate, and what have you. My father, who is my dad? Oh gosh,
Take your
so many
time.
things that, uh, so many things I can say. I just I never thought I would have to describe him. He has been just that. He's always been that title for me. He's been my father, my rock, my protector.
Come on.
Um, just there, supporter, um, great listener, um, great advisor. Always tried to make sure that I was on the right path. We were on the right path. Always checked in, always checked in, always cared about our well being. How are you? You're not smiling. What's going on? Just always there, always there. I would say just my rock. That parent that you may not talk every day, but at the same time, he's checking in. He's finding a way to checking in on you, just there, presence, constant, always has been a constant presence in my life, strong presence.
That's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so very much for that. I know it's not an easy thing to reflect on who your parents are, especially when that parent is no longer with us. So I certainly want to encourage you in this moment to say that we are with you. You are not alone. Those of us that know him personally, those of us that know him even more than myself, we are all with you in spirit. With that being said, we're going to now hear from Zakia. Shalom, Zakia. How you doing?
Shalom. I'm well. I am Zakia, daughter number two, as he would call me. Um, I am uh, I am a wife, a mother of six. I have three bonus children, so we have a pretty big home, big family. Um, a business owner, a stay-at-home mom.
Come on. Come on.
uh, the list can go on. A sister wife, a graduate, college graduate.
Come on.
In every aspect of who I am, my father has been there to support me through every step and stage of my life.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And last and certainly not least, a person who sometimes I affectionately call the light bulb. She's going to laugh. We are going to introduce Malka. Shalom, Malka.
Shalom, shalom, everyone. Uh, I'm not really one for many words, but I, what can I say? I'm an auditor, so integrity is big to me.
Okay.
Education was a value that both my parents very much weighed on, like it's of the most importance. Um, Honestly, most people know our father as Moreh Yehotzedek or Mr. B or Harold Benoit, but if I'm being very honest, he was just Abby.
Come on.
He was just Abby, like my dad. That's it.
All right.
Um, that's it. He taught me many things, and he knows I'm afraid of many things. And one thing that always stood out was like he just like be strong and courageous. Like go out there. You might be afraid, but just try.
All right.
Do what's on your mind, what's on your heart. As long as you're not breaking no laws of the creator, have at it. Very supportive and understanding because he knows I'm human, I mess up, but he always showed up with love and he showed up when it mattered. We may not always be there all the time, but when it mattered, he made sure he was there. He made sure that he was not gonna miss anything. So
That's
presence
beautiful.
was huge.
And if I can add, that says a lot. Before going further and pulling from you guys what it is that you guys experience with your Abba, I want to share just for a couple of moments my experience. Um, while many people in social media or the YouTube world, Shalom, Princess Nadavia, I see you. While many people in the YouTube world know me as Zion or Zion Lex, these ladies here are like, who? What's that? You mean Avdaya? Oh, okay. So you guys are afforded this night the opportunity to hear from people that really, really know me. Our relationship goes back 30 years ago. I hope that's not telling our age. We know each other since the 90s. I meet them in 96. I came into this way of life in 1994. I spent those first 2 years at Beth Ab Shalom. And then I made my way to Sh'ma, which is how I met your dad. And I actually met your dad the winter of 95. And I think Sh'ma opened like the summer or fall of 95. And your dad was already right there. And the people who introduced me to this way of life are the children of Crown Prince Zerishadai, whom you guys also know. Akiva, Kemuel, Anihu, Yedidiah, right? They got many, many more siblings, but those are the ones that everybody pretty much knows. And they introduced me to this way of life. And about the summer of 95, they bring me to Sh'ma after already having been to Beth Ab for a year and some change. At that time, I was learning Hebrew under their Ima, right? Their Ima was my primary Hebrew teacher. And I learned from her sayings like Shalom, Lila Tov, all of the greetings, right? Princess Shekinah is her name. And I'm eternally gracious for her for that avenue as an entrance to me learning our culture and even learning our language. But I must admit for this moment, for the first time in the hearing of many, that the very first person that I sat down to actually learn how to read the Bible in Hebrew with was your dad in his Hebrew class at Sh'ma, of which he was renowned for. Many of us today that are able to actually open the Bible in Hebrew, sure, all glory to God, but your father was that vessel. Apart from your dad, I'm barely reading A, B, C, D, E, F, G, much less going into Hebrew. And so I really always, in reflecting on those early experiences, I always remember how your dad had patience. He had humility. I will admit that I wasn't a fast learner, but the level of patience your dad had stood out. Your dad is not the first person that actually tried to sit me down. He's the first person that I could actually resonate with because of his spirit, to actually listen to what he's saying because of his level of humility. And he was so renowned for that. I remember the very first Hebrew book that he ever imparted to us was what is called like the 201 Hebrew verbs. You guys probably seen that all over the house. The 501 Hebrew verbs. You guys probably seen that all over the house. The Ben Yehuda's Hebrew Dictionary. You guys probably seen it all over the house. And so that was my early introduction to learning the language. And again, I'm eternally thankful. If there's another thing that I can share about your dad, is his insistence that various passages and pages in the Bible, you guys may remember when I get to the point, they tell a picture more than what the surface reveals. Your dad in circa 1996, circa 1997, I remember it like it was yesterday. He was so insistent when he would get up and teach at Sh'ma Yisrael that when we look at the genealogy in Genesis 5, it's telling a picture. If you pay attention to the names, Adam, Seth, Enosh, Kenan, Mahalalel, he would always tell us those names form an actual complete storyline. And I used to always hear him, although I could not capture it, but I can tell you now, I have arrived. I finally, decades removed, understand what he was saying, and I must credit your dad for planting that seed in my mind. Secondly, I'm going to share what is for me a very personal experience. There was a time in Shema when I was brought before the Council of Elders. There was a grievance that occurred between myself and another individual, and it didn't go so well. I was 16 years old. In that meeting, I showed my arrogance and I showed my pride. And I was given two ultimatums, essentially. I could either apologize to the person that I had wronged, or I could leave the camp. While leaving the camp for me is just like something I'm never going to do, I just couldn't find it in my extreme pride and arrogance at the time to apologize to this individual, this elder chief man who's a dear friend of mine today. He's just a couple years older than me. And rather than apologize, I left them with the option to do what they would do. And as clear as day, Chief Principal looked at me and said, "You're out." My soul left my body, because the Israelite way of life is the only thing that stopped me from becoming what my friends became, which is statistics. And so that was life-shattering in that moment. I remember feeling like I couldn't stand, and I literally had to lean on the wall when Principal looked at me and told me, "You're out. Get out." And I thank him, Principal, reflecting on that, because in that moment I learned to be a man. But as I was walking out of the camp with tears in my eyes and my speech cracking as I'm saying shalom on the way out to people that are looking at me awkward because they know something had just happened, your dad pulled me to the side. Your dad saved the day. And those chief men that are there, they remember it. Chief Uziel, Chief Naphtali, who, by the way, young Chief Naphtali, who, by the way, I can be so honest to say, he's the individual I had an issue with. Mm-hmm. Your dad pulled me to the side and talked to me and told me, "You have a light on you that's too bright to lose it to your ego and arrogance. All that is required here is to humble yourself." He didn't add anything else, but it was the softness in the tone the directness in the speech, and the wisdom that was received that made me walk back in and apologize. And shout out to my brother, Chief Naftali Bendan. Because if you guys know him very well, he's going to laugh when I say this. He looked me dead in the face and said, I don't accept your apology.
Right.
And those of us who know Chief Naftali Bendan, you know that's not a joke. But ultimately he did. And that very day, later on that evening, Principal told me, all right, you can stay after all, little hood booger. Right? I'm playing. But I wind up staying. But it was your dad's soft tone, gentle speech that saved the day for me. And from that day, your father was not just a teacher, he was a father figure. I always struggled with authority. I didn't listen to anyone but my father, literally. But that day, I listened to your dad. So at that day, he had elevated and graduated from me just seeing him as my Hebrew teacher. He was then in that moment a father figure. And it's for that reason, among myriads of other reasons, that I know that those of us that know him, those of us that love him, we owe it to him to honor him by carrying his work, by continuing his legacy. Even those of us that may not have a blood relation, we have a soul relation. I heard during the repast that he only has daughters. And I am so glad when I heard Shoshana make the correction and say, no, no, no. Many men learned under him. Many saw him as a father. Contrary to popular opinion, he had many sons, of which I bear witness to. And I want to also say this. In going through the collage of images and retracing his life just through the images of his life, I also got to see that some of his grandchildren, the sons, among them, I saw them actually teach in the temple, right? There's pictures of them teaching. I even remember when they were called up to read, right? So that's unique. That's beautiful, you know? And with that being said, everyone, what I would like to do at this moment is ask you guys just a couple of questions. If there's anything that you guys can tell us about your dad that's different from what we know, we would like to hear it. There's a lot of people that for us, you know, there's the person that the world knows and there's the person that we know. So I can certainly say that in my case, you know, my dad has a certain way that he relates to the general world. And then there's a way that he relates to us. And the two are complementary in some sense, but they are certainly different. So share with us, if you can, what are some of the difference, if any, between the way in which your dad is perceived in the world versus how he's received at home and perceived?
I can start. So I would say in this past month, my dad has it's been consistent. I must say who we knew and who the community knew is the same person. It's constant. The way he was with us is how he was with many. Straightforward, stern, disciplined, funny. It's always been the same. While yes, you know, he is our father, he has taken a lot of people under his wings. He has been that nurturer. He has, you know, he just had that type of, it was just in him. He looked out for everyone. And so in looking out for everyone, that same parenting style, that same nurturing, it's just who he was. What we say about our father is what we've heard from his community, his congregation, his New York family, his Florida family. It's been the same, and it's resounding. It's over. It's overwhelming in a way, because, you know, it's almost like, while you would think, you know, we had something for ourselves, he shared himself with a lot of people, and that's okay, because of the person that he was. You know, it's just to cross. I always say, to cross paths with my dad is to have a lifeline. It's just like, that's it. You know, you meet him once, you're in it for life. You know, he just has that type of personality. That's who he is. It's no different. It's always been consistent and the same.
That's powerful, and I will even add, that's a rarity. Again, for many people in the world, for many people that I know, you know, and even for me, I can readily admit that there's a side of me that you guys know, then there's a side of me that only those very close to me know. But it's a very rare moment in history and in a person that who they are outside and who they are inside, that's the same person. I don't have a degree in psychology, but I do kind of understand something about that. That's a person of integrity. That's a person of character. That's a person that has honesty beyond measure. That's a person that has surety of character. They know who they are. Most of us oscillate between various personalities because we are either afraid to show the world who we fully are, or we are embarrassed to expose the world to who we fully are. And so when a person can be who they are outside as well as inside, to me, that speaks to integrity, that speaks to honesty, and that speaks to being what we call biblically a man or woman of God, of which he certainly was, from what I see and from what I'm hearing. On that note, what I'd like to do now is to just go through some images, right, that reflect his life. I asked you guys to share with us some images this evening, of which I thank you so much that you did. And you know, I put together a tribute in his honor with respect to those images. So with that being said, we are going to share it. And when it's on the big screen, and look at that, there we go. So here we're going to begin. And I'm going to ask you guys, where is your Abba at this time in history? I don't think he minds us knowing how old he is about. So give us a roundabout of actually where he is in history at that time, a congregation. Who are some of the people that you can identify in the picture? And where would you say he's at spiritually?
Well, I would say that this is my parents' wedding day. My father is the one standing in the middle.
And what year would that be, if you don't mind?
I would say probably 1980, maybe.
Wow, I'm born in 79.
81.
I'm born in 79. So just get a relative figure of this.
If it was 81, it was early 81.
Yeah.
Early 81. I would say in this picture, he has some close friends in this picture. One for sure that has recently passed and was very close to our father, and was a very good man in our lives as well. And the relationship that they had has definitely transferred down to their children. To the far right would be Adon Ari.
Okay. Picture right here, the tallest one too.
Yes. And his son did drum at our father's recent memorial service.
I know him. In fact, I just want to inject for a moment to remind you guys, I'm pretty sure you guys might remember when I say this, Ari's son, that's known to be a drum in our community today, in the 90s, he was in a BET commercial. Y'all remember that? And we was like, oh,
he is famous. He's a TV. Yeah, he's in a lot of shows, a lot of movies, TV
Yeah,
shows.
yeah.
That's Kaz.
Yep. I remember him. Definitely remember him. As soon as I saw him go up and do the tribute, I was like, "That's the brother that used to be at Bnei Yisrael hitting the drums, come to
Yeah.
Shema hitting the drums." And I remember meeting his Abba a couple of times as well.
Yeah.
Yes,
Adonai.
yes. But do continue. My apologies.
Oh no. I believe Adonai, as well as the brother to the far left, um, they sang together. They had albums
Okay.
together
Oh,
as
okay.
well. The other two men, I'm not too sure. I'm not
Okay.
too sure. Yeah.
Okay. All right. With that, we're going to go to the second image. And the second image I'm going to read. Um, Chief Moreh Yehotzedek Ben Gad, a tribute to a mighty man of God. And where would I be right now if not in the honor of your dad to also read this in the Ivrit? So here we go. Hallelujah. Hamoreh Harosh Yehotzedek Ben Gad Hokara Leish Elohim Gibor, which is to say in Ivrit, a tribute to a mighty man of God. And here we go. So we got the introduction with him and Ari, and this is his wedding. So now we're going to start here. Now, I do have something on the screen that I'm going to read, but then you guys are going to help us and elaborate a little bit more. So from what I recognize, this is certainly around the time of the Sh'ma Yisrael era. My first hint is 297, the address, right? 297 Saratoga, the address of Sh'ma Yisrael. I also see Prince Jeriel's sister, right? I also, it's we know so many people from back in the days. I don't always remember names.
Right.
I know this brother
Who
is
was
Jamaican.
Shaul?
I know he's
Shaul?
Shaul.
Yes.
I think Shaul was his name.
Yes,
He did
yes.
music, I think. Yeah.
Shaul. He used to do music. He probably
Yes.
still does. He's
Yes.
Jamaican. Yes. Very, very powerful brother in his own right too. And of course, Prince Jeriel's sister. She's gonna
Deborah.
beat me up for not. Thank you. Say that again. Very clear.
Deborah Matt.
Deborah Mac. She's gonna be like, Avdiel, you didn't remember? I'm sorry, Princess Deborah. I'm sorry. It's been a long, long time. So if you guys can elaborate for us on these images and the era, what was this time like for you, and what was this time like you perceived for your dad?
Okay, so this was the highlight time, I would say, at Shema. So much was going on musically, with the band, the CDs, the music that was coming out at the time. It was a very lively time, I would say, at Shema. A lot of definitely the Hebrew classes.
Sure.
In the downstairs in the basement or during the lunch breaks. But a lot of events, hosting a lot of events that we did at Shema. It was a good time.
It was definitely a good time.
Yeah.
Definitely a good time. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words. Sometimes a picture becomes a motion picture, like you can literally see the things happening in that time. And I can certainly join and tell you guys what a time to be alive during this time. This was what we call Shema's heyday.
Yeah.
Right? Just amazing. I mean, if I can give credit where credit is due, so many amazing people have come through those doors of Sh'ma Yisrael. So certainly shout out to Nasi Gad, Chief Principal Ben Zabulon. Certainly shout out to his son, Nasi Prince Nat. Certainly shout out, may his memory be blessed, Chief of Chiefs, Chief Naphtali. So many amazing people came from this place. And so many of them came from even earlier places. And even though I had began my journey at Beth Shalom between 94 and 95, I've always considered that Shema was my home because it was there that I truly began to learn Torah. On that note, the next set of images we have is first and foremost with your dad and Principal, Chief Principal on the left, and then your dad on the right. So I'm going to read the label. The label says, again, Shema Yisrael. Uh, Seen here with Nasi Gadol, Principal Ben Zabulon of Congregation Sh'ma Yisrael in Brooklyn, New York. So again, I'm not expecting you to remember the time, but even Nasi Gadol, Principal might laugh when I say this is the black hair era of Principal before he had grays, right?
Yeah.
Come on, right?
Oh,
This
yeah.
is the Principal that you gonna mess around and find out era, right? Even though he tell you mess around, you still gonna find out. We gonna always keep it real on Zion Lex TV, y'all. We gonna always keep it real. So if you can, same question applies. What was this era? Where the picture on the left actually looks like they're on the main level of where Sh'ma was in the 90s, where we were in the first level, right? Before
Right.
we moved upstairs. That's what that looks like. But then your Abba is sitting in a home. So just relate to us what these two images say for you guys.
If I'm correct, the picture to the right, I want to say that he was at the home of a very close friend, Adon Daniel.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's what I want to say. Malka, what you think?
that's at his home. That was where we took all our photos.
Yeah. So Adon Daniel was, I would say, a godfather to us.
Okay.
And he is known to be the photographer. Adon Daniel, the
Yes.
photographer.
Yes. If you guys don't mind, just 1 second. Not only do I know him as a photographer, I know him as a photographer. Shoshana's looking like he gonna say it. The nightclub era. I used to catch him at the Ark, and I'm gonna keep it all the way real because this is Zion Lex TV. On the Friday nights that I used to show up to the Ark, this is Zion Lex TV. I'm gonna speak my truth. On the Friday nights in the 90s when I did show up to the Ark, that was the only day I didn't see him. And I wasn't supposed to see him that day because I wasn't supposed to be there that day.
I thought you was going to say
Sounds about right.
But what a time to be alive, right? At that time, many of us teenagers finding ourselves, finding this way of life, we had 1 foot in and 1 foot out. And guys, I'm not afraid of my truth. I will speak my truth because you know what? It will always inspire someone. I am not proud of this stage of my development, but I know that it's always the journey that counts towards our destination. So I have to be real when I say that I would always bump into Danielle as he was taking pictures at the Elite Arc when it was in East New York. But the one day he wouldn't be there was the Friday. And the first night I saw him, my first cousin, DJ Rondon from Flatbush, was there and was doing an event for Bounty Killer. It was Bounty Killer's birthday party. And I'm like, ain't that the Israelite brother? I get closer, he got fringes. But at this point, I'm ashamed to go say hi because I don't got no fringes on. So I just stayed to the corner. But the following week, I came back with my fringes on Saturday and made sure I went up to him. So by all means, do continue, please.
That sounds like most of our teenage lives, right?
Come on. We're going to keep it real. Yeah.
I wasn't out on Friday night, though, but.
All right. Yeah. So, all right. So excellent. So, by the way, speaking of East New York, Brooklyn, one of the things that came out, you guys, during your dad's repast was that I heard continually people say that he sold fish, and he sold fish on Flatbush Avenue, but near Vanderveer. Can I tell y'all something? I was born in Vanderveer, 1410 New York Avenue, apartment 4C. All my relatives at that time, we all lived in Vanderveer. Like there are rappers today that came out of Vanderveer. Like I moved from Vanderveer in 1990, 91 to the 50s, like on East 54th Street, just a couple blocks from South Shore High School. And from there, I stayed another additional 4 or 5 years, and then I moved to Staten Island. But the interesting thing is when I moved to Staten Island, we moved to a 2-family home where my landlord is an interesting fellow by the name of Jimmy Henchman. Jimmy Henchman is the person that was involved in the Tupac incident at Quad Studios, but he's also from Vanderveer. So I'm just bringing up this history to show you guys that it's just interesting how many of us are interconnected in many ways long before we even meet each other. It's just all so fascinating and interesting. The moment I heard that, I'm like, he was near Vanderveer? Like, that was our spot. I'm born and raised in Vanderveer. So that hit hard for me. That really did hit hard for me. All right, I'm going to segue to the next picture. All right, so this is also from Sh'ma Yisrael. The two ladies I don't recognize. Maybe you guys can clarify. But again, he's seen here with Nasi Gadol Principal. I guess the flash hit his eyes of Congregation Sh'ma Yisrael. I was able to know the year because it's on the picture. The picture actually says November 28th, 1999. And again, I can clearly see based on the background that this is Sh'ma Yisrael at the time that even I'm still there. So again, can you just revisit this time and tell us something about this image?
So, at this time, Dad did begin to visit Florida, right? And the two sisters that are in this picture are Macau, she's in the middle, and Sarah, also known as Pat. When Dad visited Florida, he met a group of younger Israelites that were gathering together. One of the brothers that did speak at his New York repast, Captain Hebron, was the person in charge of the community out there in Florida. And Daddy was very fond of the young individuals that were there. It was probably a group of maybe 20 or more teenagers. I think they were teenagers. They were a little older than myself. And we would travel down to Florida every once in a while and spend the weekend or a few days out there with them. And Daddy fell in love with Florida. Daddy fell in love with them. He fell in love with the energy. They would meet up in the park and they would just gather and just praise the Most High. And these two ladies were from that community.
All right. If my memory serves me well, if I remember this time, some of the young men at this time, 98, 99, were branching out. Like some went upstate and formed what we call like Sh'ma 2, Sh'ma 3. I think Captain Hebron going to Florida, that was like a satellite congregation of Sh'ma. They were like Sh'ma 2 or something like that.
Yes.
Am I mistaken? Or
yes. So they were considered like a branch off, and I do believe that they were like Sh'ma 2.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, excellent. And so now the next image reminds me of some of the parties that we threw, right? So I'm trying for the best of me to recall who was in this picture. I don't remember this brother's name behind your dad, the tall brother, but I do know I would always see him with Nasi Yashavel. So I don't remember his name. Even he would be like, wow, you don't remember nothing out the LD. But again, this is Chief Moreh Yehotzedek, seen here with his eldest daughter, Shoshana. Shoshana, take us back to this time.
Oh my. That time. There was, I tell you, Dad always found an opportunity. One, we know that he loved to dance. He loved music. And he loved to have us dancing with him. And so this was just one of those times, you know, he would have his daughters on the dance floor, just having a good time. We have many moments such as this. Yeah.
You know, if I could be interesting for a moment, I'm gonna laugh, right? I could tell you guys that as men and as a guy who has twin daughters, my twin daughters are gonna be 21 next February, maybe the will of the Almighty.
Wow.
I could tell you that for a lot of us men, when we get to do that daddy and daughter dance, especially in front of other younger men their age, that's us pretty much letting the guys know this is my daughter, bro. So, you know, this is my daughter. So I'm not sure that was on your Abba's mind. Maybe it's just me. But for a lot of us men, we make sure that you know this is my daughter and I will jump out the window for her just in case you forget. So I'm not sure that resonates, but yeah.
I would love to say that it was probably subtle, but I think oftentimes Dad made it very clear,
Absolutely.
Yep, have some distance, don't stick around too long, he always had his eye on us, always wanted to make sure what was going on. We could be across the room and you look up, you'll lock eyes with him. He knows what's going on at all times. But then again, that was, we always looked at it as he's being protective.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, very protective of us.
That's right. You can always tell a loving dad. You can tell a loving dad by the intimacy he has with his daughters, the smile he brings to his face. One thing you can't do is fake emotions, and you can't fake and stage moments that are captured in time. The way you guys look, you don't even know the picture is being taken, and look what it captures.
Right.
Right? So this is so beautiful, but we're going to move on. All right, Zakia, always cheesing. Here we go. So, Chief Moreh Yehotzedek, seen here with his second born daughter, Zakia. So, Zakia, tell us something about this picture and where we're at now in history.
We are in Georgia. We are visiting family. Is that correct? We had dinner at our uncle's house. Was it Uncle Ant's?
Yep.
Yeah. This was maybe a good 7 years ago. Maybe 7, 8, 9.
A little more, probably about 9 now.
9 years, yeah. 9 years, yeah. Wow.
Okay, so this is fairly recent then.
I mean, we got so many memories since then. But about 9 years ago, we were having a family dinner at the family's house, all gathered together, just enjoying family time.
All right. As we move on. So seen here again with Zakia to the right, and then we have him to the left. So starting with the picture on the left, I can imagine by the faint palm tree in the background, that's more than likely Florida.
That is
a place
Florida.
that I love. And like your dad, I want to retire there too. But yeah, tell us about this picture on the left, and then tell us about the picture on the right.
So the picture to the left, that is Florida. This was about 4 years ago. My husband and our family, along with my brother-in-law, Ezra, and his family and his wives and children, we all drove down to visit Florida for the weekend, and we spent time with him and the Israelite community, his community in Florida for that weekend. At that point, I think right here, we were at our Airbnb and we was outside, and he was just, doing what he do.
Nice. One thing I have to remark about your dad is the smoothness, right? He always has like this GQ persona, right? I heard over the weekend on Sunday about everyone associating him with the tailor suits, the perfect fit, the linen garments. And, I could say the same about some people in my family that I know, but I have to say, man, your dad is always dressed for the occasion, always sharp and always unique. Very, very cool fellow. Like his look literally matches who he is as a person, The picture on the right, I'm going to admit, Zakia, is interesting because it gets to show us, or at least for me, a side of your dad where and I don't claim to be a psychologist, but just give me a moment to like say something for a second. The way that you and your dad are situated here, it really testifies, in my opinion, to the level of love that you guys have, right? There's almost like this playful aura right here, right? He's kneeling down. You got like him almost in like a headlock there, right? He has you locked, but like it's, again, I have daughters, twin daughters at that, so I know this feeling right here. And to me, this shows you that there's a great love that's here. Again, this is a moment captured in time, on film, on camera, that really gets to show us the kind of relationship that you guys had. This is clearly a daughter that loves her father, and this is clearly a father that loves his daughter. So take us back to this moment and unwrap this for us a bit.
I know. It just, whew.
I was probably roughly a young teenager. Um, I do believe that we were at Adon Daniel's house once again, in this picture. Um, it's hard going down memory lane. I mean, I love all the pictures and all the memories that come with them.
Take your time. Take your time. Take your time.
The love that you see, the playfulness. Um, it is what it is, you know. Uh,
Yeah.
it's
Real.
real. It's real.
It's real. It's authentic.
It's
It's
authentic.
just,
Dad wasn't. Dad wasn't just dad. He was. I mean, at that point in my life, he was dad, but he was my friend.
Hmm.
He was
Come on.
my friend. So yeah.
Come on. Thank you. Thank you for that. We definitely needed to hear that. I really do appreciate that. Um, so we have another picture here. And
Who
as I was
submitted these pictures?
who authorized these pics?
Oh my goodness.
So, the first thing that caught me off guard, I was like, all right, he looks like he's in the 90s. Zakia looks like she's in the 70s. All right, so I want to say this just for a moment. I didn't label the pictures beyond what you see in the middle of the screen.
Okay.
But for this one, I threw a question because when I put these two together, I thought it would be powerful in this moment to ask you on the spot this question. And what's beautiful about it is, as you know, as all the sisters know, this isn't rehearsed. You guys don't know what I'm asking you. You certainly didn't know I was going to ask you this. So, putting the picture on the right, Zakia, as if he's looking at you guys on the left. If this picture is symbolic of him looking at you, what do you imagine that he's saying to you then? And what do you imagine he'd be saying to you now?
The picture to the left, I was a mother of two at that time. Now, I'm a mother of six. And his last words to me were, "You are an amazing mother, and you have beautiful children, and you're doing an amazing job." And I think that's what he would say. You're doing an amazing job. Keep doing what you're doing.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And if the picture on the right was him capturing you on the left in that moment in time, right? Circa 1970s, based on your dress.
It's not 90, first of all. That was a tailor-made outfit, but
hey, I wouldn't be me if I didn't give it to you organic this way. So, so again, based on that time with this look, what do you think he'd be saying to you then?
what Malcolm said, just be strong. You know, he always wanted us to be strong. I don't know. That was like he always used to say that. Just do what you're supposed to do, and just be strong. You understand? That was his thing to us.
That's beautiful.
I think this is almost him processing, having a moment, kind of like a reflective moment. You see something, you speak on it, and you kind of just, it's definitely one of those, I see you, I see
Yes.
you. I understand. I get it. I get it. To me, it's just one of those looks where he said what he said, and now you just kind of,
Come
he
on.
said what he said, and now you're just having that moment,
That's right.
You're processing it. You respect it. And you're processing it.
That's beautiful. All right, as we forward to the next image. So there is the photographer, right? I see him right here. This brother I've seen before, but I don't recall his name, but I believe Kol Sh'aireit, right? I know I've seen him in Quahal before. Certainly I've seen Danielle in Quahal. I don't know who this individual is in the middle, and then I see your dad to the left. Now, I'm not sure if they're at on a cruise. I could be way off. So tell us where we're at, and if you can identify the people in the picture.
Definitely recent. It may have been the restaurant that they spoke of. Dad had taken them to. It looked like, could it be? They're definitely out.
Yeah, they're out.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So this is definitely a recent picture. Even though they've been friends over, I'm gonna say, I was gonna say, well, I'm gonna say over 40 years.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This hit me hard when I saw the pictures. These pictures were probably taken within the last, I'm gonna say anywhere between the last 3 to 4 months.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe about 3 months, 3 to 4 months, I'm gonna say, ago. So we do have Adon Daniel, the camera, the photographer.
That's right.
Yes. The next brother, Adon Akisamak.
Okay.
And then we have Adon Yehoshua.
Okay.
And from what I was told, I don't remember Adon Akisamak. We were very young.
Yes.
But and I do believe he might have moved to Maryland. He has a horse ranch now.
Okay.
In Maryland, I believe. But these men, along with Chief Azaria, they went to go visit Dad within the last couple months. And even though Dad wasn't his best, he wanted to make sure they enjoyed their time. So he wanted to take them here and do this and do that, and they kept on saying, "No, let's just chill."
Again.
And Dad always wanted to make sure everybody was enjoying themselves. For me personally, when I spoke to Dad, and he told me they came, I was driving, and he got very emotional, I would say. And so did I, because you don't really hear too many older individuals talk about or use the word friend.
Yeah, that's a fact.
And these men were Dad's friends.
Come on.
Adon Daniel and Adon Yehoshua, it was so good. When I heard, I had to call them. I did speak with Adon Daniel. I spoke with Chief Azaria, and just to express my gratitude, because I know how much that meant to Daddy. I call him Daddy. I know how much that meant, and to hear that they got up and they went out there for 4 to 5 days just to spend time.
That says a lot. That says a
That
lot.
said a lot. So to hear their voices, it brought back so many memories of, as you can see, all the childhood pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
Because we spent a lot of time around, especially Adon Daniel and Adon Yehoshua, and to hear their voices, they still sound the same. They do. They
That's
do.
right.
Adon Yehoshua, he used to have really long locks, so he dropped down to a short haircut now.
Maybe that's why I'm finding it hard to really place him in history.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it, because I do recognize him, but I know there's something different aside from the age, obviously.
Right.
Right.
He
But
was also, I guess, one of Dad's best men in Malka's mom's wedding. So when we saw those pictures, we was like, oh, look at,
Yeah.
So that was over 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Over 30 years ago. So these are Dad's friends. They're his brothers, and they go back to Kol Sh'aireit days. That's their beginnings, their humble beginnings. So that's over 45. We're telling our age, right?
That's right.
I want to say that's not when Shauna was born,
wait a minute.
But that's what I'm trying to, let you know
okay.
how long that friendship was. Over 40, 45 years, over 40 years ago.
Wow, that's a long time ago. I mean, it's still not as old as Shoshana is, but it's still, I mean, that's a while ago, right? Wow.
I'm being kind.
Shoshana said, Abdiel, you got one more time. One more time. All right, so we're gonna move to the next one, but just before we did, I just want everybody to pause for a moment. As Zakia says to us, everyone, that these are the months leading up to the passing of their dad and our teacher. Could you just imagine that, going through what he's going through with his health, he still has it within him to put others before him? I mean, to the very end, he's a man of humility and a man of character. Most of us, myself included, when you're really going through it, you reclude to self, you go to the corner, you time out, and I need space. It's me time. I choose me. Your dad clearly was not that. And I think, again, this picture captures something phenomenal in him. Just think about it. Okay.
And I just want to say, like, for me personally, when I look at that picture, what kind of hurts is how things progress so quickly.
Right.
Because right here, he looks so good. He looked, good, and and everything just happened so quickly, to the point where they wanted to come back and spend more time.
Look at that.
Making plans, and so I just want to say how much, like, this picture right here, that memory, it really means a lot. That right there, it means a lot.
All right. So one of the stories I heard was told by Chief Uzael, and it had me crying. He said, when I first met, when I first met Chief Yehotzedek, he always had this young girl with him, man. I used to say, why this guy got this girl here to 1 a.m.? Like, don't she gotta be asleep? And it was so funny. But it's even funnier now when you see the picture and say, yo, I see it. So, Malcolm, what's going on in this picture, Malcolm? Talk to us.
Oh, gosh. This looks like we're in front of Bnai Yisrael.
Okay.
That's what it looks like in
Side
front.
entrance, right?
Yeah. I mean, he was no joke about the Creator. And he wanted to make sure that he taught all his children about the Creator. My Ima, she doesn't keep law.
Right.
But he's like, you're going to come with me. You are going to be with me for Shabbat. However, he's also like life of the party. So he's there front and center with the lessons, with the word, sun goes down, community. Like he's
Mm.
still with everyone.
Yeah.
We're not just here to play Shabbat. Like, no, this is community. So let's hang out. Let's enjoy one another's company. Even though you have a little girl that
Right.
should be at home for her bedtime, just, go in the chair, be quiet, go to sleep, and he's gonna play dominoes. That's that's how he was. It was like, listen, we here to serve the Lord, but we're also here to build community and enjoy one another's presence. It's not just we're just here. No,
Mm. Mm.
that wasn't him. So he was really big on unity and being with one another, having fun, because it's more than just shouting and singing. It's more than that. And he wanted to make sure that I was very much aware of right from wrong, who the creator is. Yeah, so I was right there by his side.
That is so beautiful. And then even as we move on to look at the image on the right now, I can tell based on the picture in the background, that's the picture painted
Um,
by, may his memory be blessed, Chief Captain Hebron, right? I'm
Yeah.
not sure if it's David or Samson, but I know for a fact
Samson.
this is Shema.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
Malka, again, I'd like you to take over for a moment and, just reimagine this moment for us, right? What's going on here?
Well, I believe this is Akre Shabbat once again. Um, Hanging out with the people, just enjoying everyone's company. We had a good day, all smiles, just random pictures. I don't know why we're taking pictures. We're just there.
Yeah.
Right. I want
Just
to
good
say,
vibes.
if this is the 2000s, right? Then it makes sense because in the 90s, when I know you, Malka, you're the little girl in the Shabbat school, right? You're
Mhm.
literally the little girl in
Yep.
Shabbat school. But here you started to catch some size. You catching up to Zakia. So I want to say
Yeah.
this had to
I
at
have
least be in the.
graduated from Shabbat school. I
I
could
go
sing in
on,
service
go
with
on.
the adults.
Shout out to Sh'ma Israel and the Shabbat school. Come on. So again, where I remember you in the 90s, though, is that you were much smaller in proportion to Zakia. You were much shorter. So here you are catching up. So I want to say, if we could capture the moment in time, this would be about somewhere in the early 2000s. Am I right to say that?
I would say so.
Okay.
Because I was probably in what, junior high then?
Right. Right.
Probably about junior high school. Not
Right.
not too long before he moved to Florida.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's okay. All right. So we're gonna move on.
Like I was
And
getting my eyebrows done and stuff. So
all right. So this is again Chief Moreh Yehotzedek. And the thing that I thought that came to mind when I saw this is to say a man of several distinctions. Literally. Like the image just captures for me like so many different styles and attributes towards his overall character. Like picture on the right is him as a teacher in middle school, junior high school, right? Pictured on the bottom right is more closer to this time with him and Shoshana. And then pictured on the left, I think this is Beit Shalom. Am I accurate?
Yeah. That yes,
Yes.
that was reception for Moreh Michelle when he died. So that
Okay.
was like 2018 or something like that.
Okay. So that means he came up for that because in that year he's still living in Florida, your dad. So he came up from Florida for Moreh Mishael's reception, Kane?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
So I mean, those of us who think we know your dad, we know him as the teacher in the temple. Many of us didn't know he actually taught in public school. So, visit this for a moment for us, if you don't mind.
Oh boy. Oh, he's always been He's always been a teacher. He has always been. He's been one. I know even from very young, he would correct you if you said something that didn't sound right. What? Say that again. What was that? No, that's not how you say that.
You should know English better than me.
Exactly. He's been a teacher from day one. It's been in him to do that. So, to hear from his students, his co-workers, principal, to be recognized by the school district, it's a surprise, but at the same time, not really, because again, he's passionate about it. He's passionate. He's passionate about teaching. He's passionate about learning. Education has always been at the core of who he is, with his own degrees, with us, pushing us to get our degrees, making an impact, in his students' lives, congregation. It's just at the core of who he is, teaching in every facet. It's at the core. It's always been at the core of who he is, to teach. So it's really been amazing, just to see how many lives that he's touched in the public school system. Again, I always said kudos to you, Dad. I don't know how you stuck it out for so long. And, honestly, if it wasn't for him getting sick, I truly believe he would still be teaching to this day. He would. It's something that he loved.
Check that out. If we could visit for a moment, when I looked at his bio, I saw that, let me see how good my memory is. I saw that he received his bachelor's from New Rochelle College. And I also saw that he received his master's from Long Island University, or what us New Yorkers call LIU. So again, a man of many distinctions, no shade to anyone, not even myself included, but, I don't have a degree in this. I can't go out in the public or private sector and say, hey, here's my degree in this. Your dad, in my view, guys, as you guys are witnesses of tonight, what he was in private, he was in public, right? Many of us are teachers in the temple, but then we go out in the workforce and we are Security Joe, or we are, behind a computer desk somewhere, right? Your dad really lived his truth. What he is known for is who he always was. And that was remarkable when I began to understand that in these last couple of moments, just going over his bio, because as much as I thought I had known, there was just so much more that I just did not know. We're getting close to the close, so I'm just going to move a little faster. From what I see here, this is again Chief Moreh Yehotzedek standing with Chief Ephraim and the young men of SOG. SOG, everyone, is an acronym that stands for Sons of God. It's a group within our congregation, started in the early 90s, between Chief Naphtali Ben Dan, as well as Chief Nat, who's also known as Prince Nat, that they spearheaded the SOG. And there's several familiar faces, but once again, look at where your dad is. You spoke so much, all of you tonight, about your dad having this special affinity with the youth. Look at where your dad is. And y'all know we was quite a bunch. The SOG and the young men. We wasn't nothing to play with. They wasn't nothing to play with. And your dad is literally right there. So he wasn't nothing to play with. right? So I don't know if there's anything we need to say about that. I think with this one, it's self-explanatory, unless you guys want to add something.
Nope. He right there in the midst.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's
That's it.
good.
That's it.
That's
You
You
know,
know,
in the
most people would be
midst.
uncomfortable,
he
right?
doesn't discriminate.
Come on, most people. Let's just be, and not to say we haven't, but I mean this for the public. Let's be all the way real in this moment. A lot of people that have an age gap between these type of age ranges, they feel uncomfortable, especially in the '90s era. Like guys with fatigues on and baggy pants and clothes, like
Chimneys.
we were seen as a threat. Notice your dad is comfortable. He's chilling because he's in an environment that he has command and respect for. Command over, but yet respect for is what this picture says to me. Command over, yet respect for is what this picture says to me. And then they're in the backyard of Sh'ma, right? So he's pictured here, Chief Moreh Yehotzedek standing with Chief Prince Sapor, right here to the far left, Chief Prince Jeriel, Chief of Chiefs, Chief Naphtali. He's also here with Chief Azariah and then Chief Hezekiah,
Yeah.
right? Again, y'all, I don't always remember everybody's name. When they see me, they're gonna be like, "Yo, for
I
real,
think that's
fam."
Gershon.
Gershon.
Gershon,
Oh,
Chief
that's Chief
Kohat's
Kohat's
son.
son.
Gershon,
Yeah.
Kohat's son. Yep.
Chief Kohat's
Gershon, my
son.
bad, bro. My bad. He gonna be like, "Come on, Av." Everybody, when you really know me, you don't even say Av Dial. Come on, Av. Come on,
Yeah.
stop playing. Stop playing. All right, so we know that this is your dad again, chilling in the backyard of Shema. Just looking at the picture, we know this wasn't on Shabbat, just by the way everybody's dressed.
Yeah.
So they're just coming out. And again, this says a lot. For many of us, and I'm going to put myself all the way in this, at that time, many of us are weekend warriors. What I mean by that is we show up to the camp on Shabbat. Your dad was one of those guys that he's at the camp if they open Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And Malcolm's like, he's not even playing because he's out all the days, y'all. He's not playing. I was trying to think he was Christian. We had church every day, y'all. Nah. But seriously, again, the picture just shows you that it wasn't just a Sabbath or Shabbat thing. Your dad really lived this life, as many of the men pictured here, as all of the men pictured here do and did, really live this life. What they wasn't just this for Saturday, Friday night, the holy days. They was this 7 days a week, 24/7. And we have to respect that. All right. He's seen here with congregation Da'at Chakma Bina, which is DCB. I'm not sure if you guys remember this. This was one of their recent events, correct?
Well, this is actually, I want to say, is actually in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Oh,
I
okay.
believe it was an all-white affair that was hosted by Hashabah Yisrael here in Charlotte, North Carolina, and they all traveled down to Charlotte.
That's what threw me off. I'm looking at the picture and I'm seeing the whole DCB crew,
Yeah.
but they traveled to Charlotte.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Again, to everyone that's watching, decades and decades of Israelite experience in this picture. The men and women seen here, decades and decades. Several of the children here born in this way of life. I mean, this is literally decades, guys, of experience. Powerful. Malka, the honor is yours.
I did not send these.
I know.
Somebody went searching.
I guess it's my turn. Okay. So this was a few years back when I graduated from graduate school with a master's degree in forensic accounting.
I'm gonna need you to put some respect on yourself. You said what type of degree?
Yes.
Rewind and come again. You said what?
Well, it was a master's degree in
Come on.
Come on, Sam.
Yeah, it was a special moment because I had dropped out of graduate school prior to that. So he was really happy that I saw it through and he was not gonna miss it. And it was special.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I don't
Beautiful.
know what to say. It was just he was not gonna miss that at all. And I'm just like, I don't even know if I'm gonna go because I did it online. But he was just like, no, you should go in person and walk across the stage. Like, what? Duh. Um, yeah, yeah.
Beautiful. You know,
And he always
from
seemed so strong.
look at
He
that.
didn't let me know
Look at
until he couldn't hide it. So just like it reminds me of like was it Jacob when his sons was coming to him and he's gonna bless them and Joseph comes back and you strengthen yourself up. He was
you.
like that.
You know what's
He always made sure like I'm still here. I'm fine.
I'm fine.
I'm fine.
Famous words. I'm
Yeah.
fine.
you,
Mm-hmm.
I'm
you know
fine.
what's beautiful in this moment? As I was looking at these pictures earlier, and then even now as you're talking, I'm saying to myself, this man put himself inside his daughters. What was in him, he literally put in his daughters. He tried his best to fill himself in his daughters, as our parents do, right? And many of the accomplishments that became a reality for him also became a reality for you. And then what's interesting in this moment, Malka, is how you segue from relating what's here in the picture to a Bible story, which reminds me of on Sunday when you guys were speaking. I'm not sure which one of you said this, but you guys said no matter what, anytime Abi spoke, anything always went back to the Bible. We could be talking about this, and he always brought everything back to the Bible. Look at what Malcolm just did. Come on. So this is
Yeah.
clearly a man that was so present in his children's life that he literally put himself in his children, and you literally can see it. Next. Uh-oh. I know this wasn't authorized. Damn, Ob, you went searching. Shauna's thinking, what he got next? You went searching. All right, Zakia, the honor is yours. It looks like your graduation too, so let us know what's happening.
Like I said, Daddy was always there. Anything that was important, anything that was important to us,
Yes.
like Daddy, can you make it? He was there. This was me graduating with my bachelor's in social work.
Come on.
It was important to me. Took me 20 years to achieve.
But you did it.
It was important.
This is so beautiful, guys. I mean,
Actually, correction. This was my associates.
okay.
This was my associates. And he was very proud.
Look at that. I mean,
I would also say, with Dad being supportive, like he never judged, never put us down. He never, oh, what's taking you so long to, get that degree? You need that degree. It was, don't lose focus. It may take you a little while. It may take you some time. You're starting a family or whatever the case may be. Don't lose focus. Get back to it. Always try to get back on track. Stay on track. That's always been, he never, it never made you feel bad if you didn't accomplish what you set out to do. It was almost, it's still there. You can still reach that goal. It may take you some time, but don't lose sight of it. Never lose sight of it.
It's crazy that you say that because those are my words to my firstborn son. You understand? He's in college. Might be taking a little longer, And all I can say is, don't worry. Keep doing what you're doing. Just stay. If this is the path that you want to take, just take it. It's gonna happen. Whatever it is that is gonna happen. Don't. I'm not here. I'm not mad at you. I'm not stressing you out. Just make it do what it do. If this is the path that you want, stay focused. and you're going to accomplish it in its due time. Because we put so much on, oh, it has to be done in 2 years, it has to be done. My father didn't stress me out. He didn't say, oh, why is it taking you so long? You keep having these children.
It's like you're
he
crazy.
didn't say. He showed up.
Right.
He showed up.
He definitely did.
He
And so,
showed up.
Shoshana, you know what's next, right?
Oh boy, what did you find? What did you go? Oh, okay.
So where are you?
You went back.
I thought you went way back, but no, this isn't bad. Yeah, this was a few years ago. Well, about 5 years.
5 years.
5 years. Boy, picture that I have behind me.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Talk about that.
Yeah. Gosh, what do I say? It's just, there's just no words. I mean, looking at this picture, looking at so many of our pictures, you could just see he's proud. He's the love. It's just his daughter. His daughter. I've always been proud. That's my father.
Come on.
That's my father.
Come on.
I love him dearly. Proud of the man. I'm proud to have a father like him. Oh boy.
Believe you me, I'm with you guys on this. I'm with you guys. I mean, this is more than a tribute. This is inspiring. Your dad is the lived experience of what the Torah speaks of. You guys are the lived experience, the realization of what the Torah speaks of. You know, if I could throw this person into the mix, Chief Naphtali used to say, the promise that God gave to Abraham is not for somewhere far off in a distant future. He promised Abraham that he could ride the fattest places of the earth right here and right now. You could achieve that success right here. You guys, your dad is the lived experience of what we learn in the Torah, and that is inspiring. There's just one more picture after this, but I'd like you guys to explain both pictures for us in any order that you guys choose.
Togetherness. I just, wow. Sisters, daughters, memories.
This is beautiful. All right, so we're going to go to the very last picture. And I chose this picture for several reasons. We all at some point will reach that moment where we realize that, as the song says, we are at the end of the road. And I got to tell you guys, I don't know how it didn't happen right now in this moment on the live stream, but just as I'm keeping it real from the beginning of this live stream till now, I cried like a baby when I had to scroll on Facebook and I seen the tribute that you guys gave, but then I hear it's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. I mean, when I tell you that the tears couldn't stop flowing, and this is not even my physical dad, but certainly a spiritual father to many of us, it hit me hard. And so I had a question on my mind as I'm looking at this image to close tonight's beautiful memorial. When I asked all of you, how do we continue his legacy? How would you say we continue his life's work? How would you do it? And what do you think we as his students and followers would best continue his legacy and his life's work?
goodness.
That's
How
quite a
do you?
question. Um, I would say to continue on the way how I think, I tend to think in principles and standards. So I would start by saying continue to be authentic and sincere, have integrity, and stand on what you believe. So if you believe that Yahweh is the creator of all things and everything, you stand on that. If you believe that you shouldn't be stealing, you shouldn't be um, lying on people or anything of that nature, you stay true to it. And not just when people are watching you, like really hold it dear to your heart and live by it. It's one thing to study. It's one thing. I think I spoke with you about this in the past, the difference between information and knowledge and things of that nature, where it's
Yes.
like, okay, you I don't care if you can memorize a scripture. I do
Come
not
on.
care. Can you apply it?
Mm.
And not just on days where people are watching you. Like, do you truly believe in the creator? Do you truly believe in a higher power? Because if you do, you won't be so fixated on who's watching you because he sees everything, even if no one saw you, no other person. Um, and he was big on that. He was the same person who he was with his family, who he was in his work environment, in his Hebrew Israelite community. So being true to ourselves, standing on what we believe, and staying true to principles, I would say that would be a start. Um, Studying and not gatekeeping. If you
Mm.
know something, share it with someone else.
Come on.
You may not be able to get through to every person, but at the same time, it's not really your job all the time because it's up to the creator to open people's eyes and ears. So everything in its time. If all you do is plant the seed, that's it.
That's it.
That's it. You can't force anything. Um, and I would say that's what comes to mind with moving forward. Just being true to yourself, not gatekeeping, and being willing to share what you know with other people.
All right. I appreciate that. And before you guys give a closing word, I want to add this in light of Malka saying that. Myself and Malka used to have a lot of conversations behind the scenes about Torah. Malka would reach out and initially, ask, some inquisitive questions. What you think about this? What you think about that? And it turned into me and her was basically doing Torah class every other day. We had very, very long conversations. And at times in our conversation, when we both connected and we understood something, we would both say light bulb. So that's why to this day I refer to her as light bulb. We used to have what we call a light bulb moment. But I want to share something with my Learn Torah Hebrew Academy family. So I started an online academy in about circa 2017. Malco used to always tell me, Av, you have a voice. You are a teacher. And, you know, Shoshana and Zakia, you guys remember me teaching in Shema in the 90s when I was 16 years old on the youth Shabbat, right? The SOG Shabbat, right? Which was the first Shabbat of every month. And so you guys remember me in the 90s as being a very, very young teacher, 15, 16 years old. Malka doesn't too remember that. She was downstairs in Shabbat school. Shout out to Malka.
Ah,
But but as much as I know at the time that I'm speaking to Malka that I could teach in some sense, I didn't have confidence to go out and really do this in the community because I just don't look at myself in that way character-wise, because our teachers taught me enough to know it's not just your ability to say, just as you guys are saying right now, it's your ability to do. And so, unbeknownst to Malka, the conversations that we had led to the formation of my academy. She taught me that I can trust in my voice, I can trust in my vision, and all I needed to do was follow it up in action and speech. So I certainly want to acknowledge you for that, Malka. I want to thank you for that. Not only did you help me to trust in that voice, but you helped me to start an academy online that has influenced at this point thousands of people. And I'm in
Wow.
great gratitude for you for that. Thank you so very much.
You're welcome.
And to Shoshana, all of the random parties we would bump into in New York City. I see her in Queens, I see her in Brooklyn. We all of us have so much history collectively and individually. And I just got to say, guys, I love you. I pray that I pray that the Creator continues to be with you, that He continues to bless you and your families. I pray that you live in the vision that the Creator has for you, and I also pray that you live in the vision that your Father has for you, as you clearly are. And as your brother and as your friend, I thank you guys for giving this platform the opportunity to be exposed to an amazing man that the world needs to know, and the Israelite community should certainly know. Many of the people that have voices today, unfortunately, are not willing in some way, shape, or form to give credit where credit is due and say, hey, it didn't begin with me. But I'm going to be among those that break that when I say to anyone that is fond of what I do and fond of my voice, guys, it didn't begin with me. It's men like this that paved the way for me to have a voice. We say today, as a matter of rhetoric, so-and-so gave you a lane. If it wasn't for this person, you wouldn't even have a lane. Well, I can say right now with complete honesty that Chief Moreh Yehotzedek Ben Gad was one of those people that made it possible for me to have a lane. With that being said, guys, the closing words and the closing thought is all on you.
We're still live.
Yeah, we're still live. You guys can just close us out with anything you want to say.
For me personally, a few things. One, in that the initial picture that you showed, the brother all the way to the left, that was Adon Daweed.
Okay.
He was also a member of Kol Sh'aireit, and Adon Daweed and Don Ari, they had a singing group. But his name, I had a brain fart for a second, but I did want to acknowledge him as well. He did recently pass away also.
Yes.
Secondly, in regards to where we're at today, this is a very weird space that my sisters and I are in, right? Where we lost a father, yet we can smile and laugh and be happy, and sometimes it's just like, oh my gosh, right? We are in a place of complete gratitude because of the love that Daddy has shown to so many people, and not just in the Israelite community, and that was an eye opener. There's a lot of different things that, like, really, that this right here has opened my eyes to. It's students. It's students that's reaching out to us. It's co-workers, principals. And all of the messages. I mean, the messages, the hearts, the hugs, the air hugs, all of the words. We weren't in Florida. We didn't live in Florida. And that's why we had to make sure that we had a memorial service in Florida for all of those that was there.
That's
and
right.
then to come back to New York, because we had to, as difficult as it was for us to relive, right? After the first one, we was like, whose brilliant idea was this?
Yeah, in theory, it sounded good. Like, oh, Lord.
Yeah. so it has been difficult. Sometimes but we have been tighter than tight this past month. All three of us. Every day, and as weird as it is, like right now there's 4 squares on my screen. I'm always looking for my father's face in that 4th screen. Right? So it puts us in a place sometimes when we're working and we're working, and then we were like, hold on a minute. Like what's going on? And then we have to breathe, and we're here to help each other breathe. We're here to support each other. And that's what Daddy always wanted. Y'all stay tight. He never fighting from youth, from young, fighting. And we have our moments. Right. But this is what Daddy wanted. And I'm so appreciative to my sisters, Shauna for taking the lead, and Malka and I supporting one another. Malka with her knowledge of, auditing and this, and, and we were like, yo, it's your turn. This is your, and just, it's, but the love and the support and the people have showed up and showed out. That's a testament. And when we say consistency, everybody is saying the same thing.
That's right.
Everybody is saying the same thing. And it's just like we know Daddy was good. We knew that he was a great father. But it was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So the question is, how do we continue? What do we do? How do we do it? And these are thoughts that, come to our mind. What's next?
What's next?
So many thoughts have come to our mind, but right now we've just been so busy just trying to make sure that we did everything possible and everything was beautiful, whether it was in Florida to New York. We wanted to make Daddy proud. We wanted to make sure that Daddy was proud. And we are so grateful. I think I can speak on the behalf of all of us. We are so grateful for all of the words, all of the support. It has helped, people constantly calling, how are you? I'm okay. I'm okay. I personally, for me, I feel as though Daddy fulfilled his purpose. He fulfilled his purpose on a level that I didn't even know was possible.
Come on.
And it really opened my eyes to what life is, living in purpose, just being a really good person. And that's what it all boils down to.
Yeah.
You understand? He wasn't teaching Torah when he was teaching math. He was being a good person.
That's right.
He was being a good teacher. He was being a good co-worker. There's people that claimed our father. We didn't even know. We look at that like, excuse me. Why you hugging my father like that? But it was respect. It was the respect that they had for him. And these are the lessons that we constantly give into our children, constantly in their ear, constantly trying to.
Yeah.
Listen, if I could say this, the irony of that 4th square that you say you're looking to see your dad. How do we continue his legacy? How do we continue his work? The irony of that 4th square that I'm occupying in this moment is that there are some of us that are doing just that, continuing his work. Again, your dad is the one that sat me down and taught me what is Hebrew. Your dad is the one that sat me down to say it again because you said it wrong and I need it to sound like this. As humble as your dad was, as patient as he still was forthright. It needs to be done like this. Say it again. Do it again. In doing that, you get it right. And there's nothing wrong with being wrong, but it's definitely something wrong in not willing to do the work to be right. And so I could tell you that I know I'm not the only one that occupies that fourth square. There was a whole army of us that were touched by you guys, daddy, by your father, by your Abba, who are doing the best that we can to fill an iota of what he filled. I don't think I can tie his shoe all around, but I know that I can continue his work in some way, shape, or form, and that's what I'm doing. And that's the best way we honor those that we love, is to continue their work. So on that note, unless anyone has anything to say, we're gonna officially close.
I just want to say thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the platform. Thank you for continuing his legacy. We want to thank everyone else, his congregation, in Florida. Thank you for continuing his work, continuing his legacy, continue his teachings. I think with everyone that he has touched, it's in you. It's in you. He's left a piece of him with you, and for that, you have to continue on.
Mm-hmm.
That's
we
right.
will continue on. So, thank you.
You're so very welcome. This was an honor. I can admit sometimes when I have to do a live stream for a number of reasons, especially based on the time, I'm kind of, it's 9 o'clock and you don't want to do it at this time. I taught a rabbinical class before doing this podcast this evening, and I moved their time to accommodate this because this means the world to me. And I explained to the students there that there's no way even remotely possible that I would have been able to do this had it not been for the lane that your father gave me. Um, I am so much inspired by the things that your dad did, and many of us are. Even as I look and I see my fellow SOG brother for life, Judah, just joined the stage. We're going to have him introduce himself and share some of his thoughts. Do what you do, Judah. Big shalom to you.
Shalom, everybody. I mean, I'm not one to always be on camera or do any of these type of things. First of all, I want to give all thanks and praises to the Almighty God, the creator of heaven and earth. When we speak about a chief man like Moreh, a very, very, very honorable, a very, very kind individual. Moreh was one who led the services when my Ima passed away. He gave me a lot of jewels, a lot of wisdom. I spent time in Florida. Myself and Moreh did a lot of hanging with each other, along with Prince Hebron. We've had even discussion down to his last days about the book of Joshua. The book of Joshua. And Moreh is arguing, Moreh is saying, but Judah, Prince Hebron, you know exactly what the Most High said to Joshua, what he's supposed to do. You know that. You know what I mean? And just to hear his words and hear so many people speak about how Moreh was and the impact that they had in his life and had in our life, I should say. Moreh impacted me a lot. There's been a lot of situations. I don't know if anybody can remember. They can always remember this. Don't forget about the new moon. The new moon service. You remember this? Let's go. Let's talk.
Facts.
Don't forget about the new moon service. There was a time when once again, in all due respect, I don't know if you remember also Zakia, as far as when we had the prom situation, Moreh took me, said, yo, no, you're not going to wear no monkey suit. He took me to his tailor. He bought me a tailored suit. You know what I mean? He said, this is how you're going to look. This is how you're going to take my daughter to the prom. You know what I mean? And once again, Moreh is an honorable individual, not just speaking only from New York, but also in Florida as well. He led a lot of gentlemen all the way to his last breath, continued to speak, continued to teach, continued to expound, and continue to inspire those about the greatness of serving the Almighty God. And once again, I didn't get a chance to attend because both services. One service I happened to be in New York, the other one I happened to be in Florida. So I just got back. So it kind of bothered me in certain ways. But in all essence, once again, may the Most High continue to bless his memory and all those who have been impacted. And it's wonderful to hear also you Nasi Gad, you know what I mean, Zion Lex, to even bring this on the platform and even speak highly about how Moreh impacted so many. And so many have so many different stories about Moreh and the presence that he has. And there's so many different stories that we will continue to talk about as time goes on. But like I said, when I speak about Moreh, we have so he took me to a steel a steel pan affair.
Oh, really?
He was learning to play the steel pan. Yes, we went to a steel pan, and he was showing me how he actually had an event where he was performing with the other drummers, and he performed. And once again, we spent a lot of time with one another. Moreh, another gentleman called Chief Ishmael, and we had a lot of good times. So once again, may his memory continue to be blessed. I felt compelled to have to come on and say these particular words and to come on camera and actually say this, although this is not actually a platform for me to come on and say a lot of things. So once again, I definitely appreciate the voice that has been allowed. And it's definitely for a very wise man who's impacted a lot with humility and meekness and kindness and a lot about life. And as what was mentioned, even down to his last days, I think Moreh had it where he wanted to bless his children, just like how it happened in the book. You understand what I'm saying? To say the words of how our forefathers would bless his children. I really, 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 really appreciate Moreh to the last of what he's done. So with that being said,
Hallelujah. Pause for a moment, Judah. Don't go nowhere. I want to say something to you. It's been a long time that I've seen you too. Like them, I know you now 30 plus years. And I want to say to a lot of Israelites in the community that we have some juggernauts that the greater Israelite community have not been exposed to. These are some amazing people that you guys are seeing on the screen. Judah is someone that I know from the early 90s. And like myself, we taught as we were young teenagers. I'm born in 1979. I'm sure Judah is right around that time. And he was a young teacher too at 16 and 17 in the temple, just like myself, 15, 16, and 17. And the people that we looked to were the leaders. The people that we looked to were the congregational teachers. And among those people was certainly Chief Moreh Yehotzedek. And he impacted many of us. And I thank you, Judah, for joining this live stream and sharing that, brother. I want to say I love you too, and I thank you for coming on, man. It's an honor to have you join us.
Honor to even join. I have one more story. I'm glad you just mentioned that. Just the mere fact that you mentioned the times when we used to have SOG teachings on a monthly basis, and we used to get randomly called up and things of that nature to expound on the book. So I get called, and I'm speaking on the beamer, and I'm not good either. I'm just hearing exactly what some of our teachers are saying, and I'm saying, Tom Shee, be to continue to expound. Tom Shee. So Moreh kindly slips a note, passes it to me while I'm on the beamer, that spelled Tom Sheik because I was saying the word wrong. He was facilitating.
Well, for 30 years, I said it wrong.
Tom Sheik. Tom Sheik. So once again, I just had to say that.
That's a fact, man. That's a fact. But again, to the humility and greatness of him, he won't leave no man behind. You're going to get it right. It's Tom Sheik. So again, guys, this is incredible. This is amazing, and I'm just honored to be a part of it in any way that I can. Judah, the door is always welcome, brother. I'm going to try my best to get my info to you. I'd love to have some more difficult conversations with you. I could be reached at zionlex@gmail.com. I would love if you could reach out. Okay. And to the daughters, our sisters, guys, we love you. Remain strong. You got this. You already are doing it. And thank you for bringing this amazing opportunity where we can highlight someone that is not just special for you and your life, but is special for many, many of us. So on that note, we're going to close, guys. Take care and shalom.
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 tearing down idols, and we cutting down poles. We calling back Israel to the hell we know. Throwing out crystals, we don't need these stones. And we ain't no God, that's a job for y'all. All praise to the Most High. All praise to the Most High, Yahuwah. All praise to the Most High. All praise to the Yah Israel. Tearing down idols, we cutting down poles. We calling back Israel to the hell we know. We throwing out crystals, and we don't need these stones. We ain't no God, that's a job for y'all. Everybody help me say all praise. All praise to the Most High. I can't hear you say. All praise to the Most High. All praise to the Most High. Hey, all praise. All praise to the God of Israel.
When you wake up in the morning and it's raining in your heart and you feel like you can't make it before you even start, your world is wrapped in darkness and you cannot see the light. And all your situations don't seem to work out right. Open up your vision. Open up the law, and remember just who you are. You're an Israelite, and you'll always be here. If remember the covenant that's passed down from year to year. Oh, 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 See, Moses was a servant with a very special deed. He was sent to old Pharaoh to say, let God's people be. Israel were captive of an unrighteous man, and though Pharaoh would not hearken to the words of the Most High plan, open up your vision, open up the law, and remember who you are. Your Israelite, and you'll always be here. Remember the covenant that passed down from year to year. Whoa, whoa, oh, my Lord. Yes, He is our Savior, our hope and guiding light, and He grants us understanding. Yes, He teaches us the light. He will come to our rescue when we give His praises due. So come, let us extol Him. Come on, just me and you. Open up your vision. Open up the law, and remember just who you are. Your Israelite, and you'll always be ever to come down. That's down from year to year. Whoa, whoa, oh, my Lord.